while I was doing T-nuts, I said I thought I was going to do some for the grizzly mill, and I went ahead and did that. Yesterday I cranked out 8 of them. 4 of them have got 3/8 threads in them, and the other 4, actually I've got 9, and the other 5 have 1/2 inch holes through them, or tapped holes in them. So I've got hold downs for the mill now. Now I will go back at some point and build some for 5/16. And the only reason I didn't in reality is I didn't have a way to hold them in the little Atlas horizontal mill, because I was drilling through and holding them down. So I couldn't go that small, but we'll do some smaller ones for that. The next thing will be some more T-nuts for the little Atlas machine, and I'll probably just do those on the grizzly vertical mill rather than trying to gang them together and find a way to effectively hold them down. So anyway, quick tip, and this was out of scrap. Now I would have liked to have had 3/4 inch thick stock. I only had 1/2 inch thick stock, and I believe this is 1 by half. It's 1 by half, which 1 inch is just a little bit too big for the T-slot. So I ended up and just took them to the belt sander and ground the sides off of them. But they work fine. You know, I would like them to have been 3/4 of an inch thick. Would have given a little more sticking out the top. But in reality, for this light duty mill, it really doesn't make any difference. At some point we'll have to have a little discussion about hold downs on all your machines, because I think that's an interesting discussion. And when we were watching the video for the bigger planer nuts, or the bigger nuts that I turned for the planer, why I had an interesting comment on those that I hadn't really thought about. But I'd like to delve into that a little bit deeper at some point. But anyway, that was a little quick project for yesterday. These are about 1.25 inches long, and I've got 9 of them total. So it took me, what, a foot of, and it was a couple of pieces of scrap that I had here out of my scrap box, out of my junk pile, which we've all got some sort of a junk pile. I probably got more than most, but we've got those. And I had a little bit of time yesterday afternoon, so we did another stupid little project, which amounts to this right here, and we're just getting ready to paint it up. And what it's going to be, we come right to the tool tower. It's going to mount right there once it's painted up, and once it's bolted in place, then I have a place for my little can of wrap and tap and my little squirt bottle of kerosene. So I was going to sandblast them this morning. We've got enough snow and ice, and it's cold enough here that the air didn't really want to make it to my sandblast cabinet as well as it should have. So what I ended up and did is I've just taken it and thrown it in the tumbler, because we still got the tumbler sitting here. And all I did with this is just take a little piece of scrap angle iron that I had, took some scrap tubing that I had and cut it up, and we've TIG welded them together there to give us a nice little angle profile to store our bottles in. And these aren't projects that I say you need to do. These are just intended to give you some ideas. You know, we can do this crap with scrap that we've got in our scrap pile. Doesn't cost us anything, and makes the shop a whole lot more efficient and better organized. And if we look around, I definitely need some better organization. Oh, we are just having a grand time today. Little 3D print, and I'm using up some scrap filament that I've got, and I consider this to be stupid time here, because once it's programmed, you start the printer running, and you just let it print. You don't have to do anything, so it doesn't cost you anything, and it maybe makes things more organized. This is the first itineration. I'm printing out one more to see how my interlocking keys lock. But what it is it's going to be a tap and die holder, and I've got to make some changes. I already see some things there, but that's what this is all about. So taps will store in here, dies will stand up right there, and you know, I've usually got a couple of dies and stuff. I'm going to have to make this bigger, and for anything bigger than probably 1/4 inch, I'm going to have to extend the bottom out. So anyway, quick little project. I started the second one printing, so we'll see how those go. There again, just ideas maybe you can use in the shop. And now the real winner here. See, we have our little painted up cover, and all it is a piece of angle iron drilled at the bottom to mount on my little tool tower, and then 2 pieces of scrap put to it. And it's going to mount right up here, like, is it going there? It's going there. I believe that's the right place. I had it mounted on here to to check out how well it was going to work to start with. So I guess we better move the camera a little bit more. We're looking at the column of the mill rather than the tool tower. I am going to do another one of these tool towers, and I'm going to move the whole bench that this one's mounted on over to the other side of the mill, so it can access both sides of the mill basically, or both milling machines. For right now, the little Atlas horizontal sitting there, and then this Grizzly. So we'll put that tooling cart over there, and we're going to do a freestanding tower here. So I'll take the digital readout and the mount for the vise and the air lines and all of that good stuff that we've got mounted here now, and we'll mount them over onto a freestanding tower that sits right here. And this one will be on the other side in between machines, and it will have the shorter tower and allow me to mount stuff on, probably for both machines a little bit there too. So everything changes constantly, but for the most part I like this little tool tower idea. It seems to be working pretty well for me and my setup. So anyway, I would have been out here a few minutes earlier, but I got an interesting email from a gentleman that apparently has another Rockford planer that he says is exactly like mine. So I started exchanging emails with him. So here we have one more storage setup done. I like it. I like it. Can work the mill. We've got access to everything right here. And the rapid tap. Otherwise, I've had them sitting on the top of the toolbox down below the mill, so it's kind of a hassle to get to. I've got to get around and do some casting because I've got a pattern that I 3D printed to mount my drill bits here, and we'll probably do a couple more of something like this to hold my little oil cans. Here's a little grungy one with a brush on it that I'm going to replace, but I leave those set down. I'll probably do some sort of a mount to hold those up here. I've got one more of these vices I need to build brackets for and mount, and it will probably, for now, it will probably mount on the other side of the tool tower on this back side. Later on it will go to the other tool post, or we'll have one on each tool post. So we've got several things there. We need to do something to hang our little oil cans. You know, we've got different oil cans that have got different oils in them and stuff. I've got my WD-40 squirt cans and solvent squirt bottles and things that we'll probably do something with. For right now, I'm just hanging them on the oil tray. Now, I don't know if the little pictures and no audio, no commentary on it or anything that I like or not. To me, it seems kind of, I know I don't really have anything to say, but it seems like when I don't say anything, it's really kind of ugly here. So let me know what you think. What I've been working on is just more shop projects, and right now, of course, our weather turned bad and everything. What I'm doing is just hammering out little stupid shop projects, just things to make things more efficient. And I'm continuing with my tool tower here. So what you just saw me making, if I can get it to turn here. Okay, this is a little bracket that I built the other day, and of course our regular vise fits right here. And I've got to build another one of these brackets. I guess we could show you that one too. You've seen it, but I've got to build another one of these brackets because that's what I hang the vise on. And I've got two of those vices, so we're going to do one more of those. But what I have added was this little bracket. And like I say, you saw this bracket to hold my two little bottles. Excuse me. So we've got one that's going to hang right here. If I can find the hole. There we go. One I haven't finished up for this yet is I've got a box painted green, electrical box, just a little aluminum one that I had kicking around. I've got the outlets already hanging until it will run the digital readout and whatever else we need to now or in the future with 110 off of the back of there. Like I say, we can plug the digital readout in, and I want to go back eventually and pull power off of the control box on the mill itself. So I just got a short pigtail running from there that plugs in from the electrical box over to the back of the mill, and just make it one more kind of a versatile unit. Now what this little hanger is I had my tilting vise that I got right here that I bought the same time I bought the G0755 mill, and I haven't had a storage place for it. It hasn't had a home, and I had it sitting on the table of the other grizzly mill for CNC, and I wanted to do a little bit of work on it, and it was in the way, so I thought we might as well get this project out of the way. So the vise will hang there, the handle for it will hang there, and our foolish little wrench you saw me build hangs right there. The reason I welded up a wrench is this little vise is kind of goofy. The swivel portion on it is 1/2-inch nuts. Now whether the studs are actually imperial or if they're metric, I don't know. I probably could have just checked, and if they were a metric thread, which a lot of times they've done that on the past on the grizzly mills or on the grizzly machines, is they'll have actually a metric thread like the studs that hold the swivel vise on or some other component. The heads will be, or the threads will be metric, but the heads will be a imperial thread to, I guess, to satisfy us. So anyway, the swivel on it was a 1/2-inch, so I took a 12mm wrench and just filed it out. Now these were hard, but they weren't super hard. You know, when I cut the ends off, I cut them with a hand hacksaw, and wasn't a big deal. Both of these wrenches are wrenches that either came with the grizzly mill, or else they came with the grizzly lathe that I CNC'd. And you know, I don't normally like these little wrenches. I'm still using the one for the vise hold downs and everything that came with the G0755, but virtually everything else I use a little better quality wrench. So these are ones that are kicking around, never be used. But anyway, the one end was 1/2-inch, so I opened up a 12mm of that, and then the angle adjustment screws are they must be about a 10, I think. Anyway, they're a smaller thread. So we just took two wrenches, welded them together. We've got a ring in the middle so they hang, and they had a coat of paint on them to start with. So the gray paint that I put on there is just the gray that I had. It doesn't match exactly, but it kind of makes them as a unit. Everything's stored in the same position, or you know, they're all stored together, so I've got access to all of them. Hopefully nothing will not be where it's supposed to be. So we go back and we can add the standard vise back to it. although I haven't cleaned this one up yet. It's time to pull it off the table anyway and clean up, probably for the end of the day because we're about done playing. Yeah, I need to clean this up more, but the vise itself hangs there. So that makes a sticky here on this tripod. I'm not going to pull it back. I'll clean it up, but that makes a fairly compact package for all of it. We'll continue to expand on this tool tower. As I said before, I'm going to build another freestanding tower that's going to go here. This tower on the toolbox is going to go on the other side of the mill so that it can hold tooling for both this mill and the CNC mill probably. Anyway, make it a little more convenient. Open this space up a little bit more here. Those are the little projects that I've been doing. Like I say, we're just cranking out these little projects to get them done, make things more efficient. I've got quite a few more projects lined up for this year. Now the snow's hit us again, and now just starting to thaw out and been cold, so I haven't been able to work on the outside of the shop or any of the major remodel we're doing here. So anyway, hopefully you found this a little bit useful or something you can utilize there for your shop. And any comments or suggestions, leave them in the comments section for me below. And as always, guys, thanks for taking the time to watch.